Andrew, we've been talking about willful default, and you've explained how just because somebody has knowingly and willfully walked away from a contract, they don't get penalised by the court. They're liable as if they would be liable for any other breach. But in this world of just-in-time manufacturing and supply chain arrangements, that's pretty tough for somebody who's reliant heavily on the supplier to perform. What happens if a supplier says, I'm not going to perform unless I put the prices up? Surely that can't be acceptable.
Well, there are ways in which the wronged party can try and get some redress. It's mostly in the remedies that the court can apply. It doesn't change the court's view on the contract. It interprets the contract as it thinks the party's intended. So wrongdoing on the part of a party doesn't make any difference to how it views the contract. What it will do, though, is if it sees certain, for instance, illegitimate pressure being applied, economic pressure, and that has caused a party to enter into a contract. So the classic case would be, you've already got a contract, but the supplier says, I'm not going to supply you with any more widgets unless you pay me 50% more. In a situation like that, then you can go off to court and you can, having entered into the contract under duress, is you can effectively say to the court that there was a case of economic duress there, and we want you, the court, to tear up that second contract. Now, it was quite a rare remedy. Very rarely was it ever applied, but I've noticed over the last few years there have been a whole rash of cases, including one just this last year. And actually, as a remedy, it seems to fit my client's needs, because in your just-in-time engineering situation, what you need to have is continuity of supply. You could run off to court to get try to get an injunction, but it's fantastic if you get it. If you don't, you're in not a very good place. So the great beauty of economic duress is you can, under protest, pay the extra money, but then you can get it unwound at a later date when you're not so dependent upon that supplier. There are risks, though, because you've already paid the money over. Are you ever going to get that money back?
Yeah. Pretty tough to anticipate in my drafting. I'm thinking, well, what I'm going to say, if you walk away from this contract and threaten me with blackmail, then I can go and get an injunction. I can't really see me being able to get that into a contract.
I think about all you could do, and I'm not sure how beneficial it would be, is effectively have a clause that you sometimes see that says that it recognises that damages will not be an adequate remedy and that therefore injunctive relief should be sought. But again, that's no guarantee. I think we come back to something we discussed earlier, which is this kind of willful default point, and that if a party realises that its liability cap could be blown, if you can get the wording right in terms of a willful default, that should cover off this kind of economic duress situation.
Yeah, so maybe disapply the cap if the other party's been in willful breach.
Absolutely.
Perhaps with some drafting about what a willful breach is.
And that could give some real teeth to that kind of situation. You can never stop somebody from breaching a contract, but that really will effectively try to dissuade them from doing it in the first place.